Meghan Markle is seriously hitting a new low with the royals right now because King Charles is allegedly tweaking the line of succession in a way that basically cuts her kids out. And honestly, after everything that's gone down the last few years, I can't even pretend to be shocked. And if you needed any more signs that things are sliding downhill fast, Harry and Meghan just got iced out of the royal family's huge US tour next year, the one celebrating America's 250th birthday. Every major royal is flying in smiling for cameras, doing the whole diplomatic thing, except the two who literally live in America. At this point, the message couldn't be louder. The royals clearly don't see Harry and Meghan as part of their future, especially after the interviews, the documentaries, the book, the headlines, all of it. So, let's break down exactly what's going on. By now, you've probably seen all the reports about the royal family gearing up for a massive US celebration in 2025. Charles and Camilla are scheduled to be there in April, and William and Kate are set to show up in July. Basically, every major royal has a spot on the itinerary, except Harry and Meghan, which is kind of ironic when you remember they're the only ones who actually live in America. Well, can you blame America for icing them out here? Meghan have spent the last nearly 6 years disrespecting both parties involved here. Insiders keep hinting at the same reason for the snub. Harry and Meghan have spent years criticizing the monarchy, from the racism allegations to the Netflix series to the press fights and the ongoing battles over security. And the prank call where Harry thought he was talking to Greta Thunberg but ended up insulting a US president definitely didn't help how he's viewed politically. So between the public drama and the private tension, the palace seems to be making their stance pretty clear. They don't want Harry and Meghan anywhere near an event this high profile. You're right that there was this excitement around them. It almost felt like a lot of hope for the future of the monarchy. That's all sort of riding on William and Catherine now, where we look to the future. Now Meghan's reputation in the US hasn't been doing her any favors lately. She's shifted through so many public identities. Actress, duchess, podcaster. People thought it was just another random label she tried on. But nope. This became a full-blown identity era for her. Lifestyle founder, podcast host, humanitarian, actress. And somehow the internet latched onto Jamfluencer, like it was her final evolution. It blew up so fast, even she looked surprised. But the real chaos didn't start until the Harper's Bazaar fiasco. Insiders claimed she had total control over her feature. And instead of reading like an authentic deep dive, the whole article felt like a glossy self-written fan letter. Beautiful photos, polished lines, carefully curated quotes, but absolutely zero substance. And that's when people started dragging her PR team again, saying she's out here building a brand instead of being real. Then yesterday, Harper's Bazaar dropped their December/January cover starring none other than Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. And yes, she's still using her royal title in American media. That alone set the comment sections on fire. A lot of people found it strange, if not downright calculated, considering she walked away from royal duties years ago. And of course the rumors resurfaced. The ones about her insisting on being formally announced as the Duchess of Sussex whenever she walks into a room, even if there are literally 2 people present. The internet's been clowning that story for years. According to one journalist, when they entered the room, Meghan's staff introduced her like she was stepping onto a palace balcony. It was giving Oscars presenter energy, but for a private meeting. But this all ties into the bigger conflict with Harry. He barely returns to the UK anymore. And when he does, Meghan stays in California. He said repeatedly he can't safely bring his family back without protection he claims the UK refuses to provide. I can't see a world in which I bring my wife and children back, and that's just the reality. What most people don't know though, is that behind the scenes Harry was secretly hoping for a soft reunion one day. To reintroduce Meghan and the kids to the family he grew up in, to the relatives they barely know. But that hope is fading fast, because the situation is shifting into something way more political than personal. Now comes the part that made everyone's jaw drop: the new succession rules. The palace rolled out an eligibility update that felt so targeted people were practically side-eyeing Buckingham Palace in unison. They now require that any child in the line of succession must live full-time in the UK under direct royal oversight. Immediately, everyone realized, Archie and Lily don't qualify. They've lived in California their entire lives, never participated in traditional royal upbringing, and haven't been raised under the palace structure. Then Charles added another rule. Only children of working royals can remain in the line. Since Harry and Meghan stepped back in 2020, it suddenly gives Charles a picture-perfect excuse to cut their kids out entirely. Meghan supposedly sees this as punishment dressed up as procedure, especially because plenty of royal children in the past had non-working parents and still kept their places without a fuss. Harry once said, "I miss the UK. I miss parts of it. It's sad I won't be able to show my children my homeland." And now that statement hits way harder. Then came the next twist, a new citizenship and residency clause. Insiders say Charles wants heirs to either hold dual UK citizenship or spend a significant part of their childhood living in Britain. But the part that had everyone screaming online? The palace also brought up security requirements. They claimed anyone in the succession line must be under official British protection. But Archie and Lily live in Montecito and rely on private security, meaning they don't qualify. Except here's the thing. The internet quickly pointed out that previous royal children lived abroad, traveled constantly, or spent years outside the UK without losing their place. So to many people watching this unfold, it looked like another rule created for one situation only, this one. And layered on top of all that is Charles's long-promised slimmed-down monarchy. Sure, trimming the royal roster was expected, but using it to cut out 2 toddlers? That didn't feel like streamlining. It felt personal, almost like making sure one branch of the family tree never gets replanted in the main garden. No half-in, half-out roles. No special arrangements. No exceptions. The message is crystal clear. You're either all the way in, or you're out, permanently. This is exactly what sparked the legal buzz. Meghan has reportedly contacted lawyers in both California and the UK because she believes these new updates violate the Act of Settlement of 1701, the law that underpins the entire line of succession. No one knows if she can actually fight the monarchy in court. That's basically the Olympics of legal battles. But what people do know is she's not quietly accepting any of it. And if she goes through with this, Harry will be thrown into the one situation he's avoided his entire adult life, choosing between his birth family and the family he built. Because a lawsuit from inside the palace doesn't just shake the monarchy, it draws a line straight down the middle of it. When you zoom out and look at every piece of this puzzle, the branding shifts, the PR reinventions, the Harper's Bazaar controversy, the palace's sudden rule rewrites, and the growing emotional distance between the two halves of this family, it becomes impossible to. This is the slow unraveling of a dynasty, the quiet tightening of royal boundaries, and the unmistakable feeling that the monarchy is preparing for a future that does not include Harry, Meghan, or their children. And the deeper you go, the more it becomes clear that this isn't just about tradition or protocol. It's about legacy, control, optics, the image of the crown in a world where public trust is thinner than glass. Charles isn't just slimming down the monarchy, he's choosing who counts. He's deciding which branches grow, and which ones get cut away before they have a chance to bloom. And unfortunately, Archie and Lily have become the center of a political chessboard they never asked to be placed on. For Meghan, this isn't just an attack on titles. It's an attack on identity, dignity, and her children's place in history. And for Harry, this is the nightmare he's been trying to avoid since the day he left. The monarchy punishing him through the people he loves most. Everything he feared the institution would do, it's doing, slowly, quietly, methodically. And now he's faced with a decision no son should ever have to make. But here's the part that truly matters. This moment is bigger than one family. It's a mirror held up to the monarchy itself. A monarchy built on lineage, tradition, and the appearance of unity is willingly fracturing its own bloodline. And if they're willing to rewrite centuries-old expectations simply to keep 2 toddlers out of the line of succession, what else are they willing to reshape? What else have they already reshaped behind closed doors? The truth is, we are witnessing a generational shift in real time. We're watching history bend, break, and realign. The crown isn't just defending itself, it's redefining the rules to secure a future on its own terms. And anyone who doesn't fit that future, no matter how royal their lineage, is being edged out. So now the question becomes, what happens next? Does Meghan actually take legal? So now the question becomes, what happens next? Does Meghan actually take legal action against the monarchy, forcing a courtroom face-off that would shake the institution from foundation to rooftop? Does Harry stand by his wife and children if this turns into the biggest royal confrontation of the century? And will the public side with tradition or transparency? Because this story isn't ending. It's only just beginning. And trust me, you're going to want to stay for the next chapter.